So this is, what is this, Friday in the city? We're already getting started with a car accident. So these two gents got out the car in order to assess whatever, because he hit him. I guess it's because he was trying to cross with this school here or something. So as you can see, I'm rolling the Jeep. I got to take the Jeep and I got to get the Jeep. I got to get a new inspection sticker for the Jeep. So I'm using the Jeep right now. And as usual, my tire, one of the air pressure, I haven't driven this thing in like months. Air pressure's low in one of the tires, not a big deal. And I'm just sitting here listening to some Wu-Tang Clan right here because, you know, I don't update the speaker and shit in this car. I don't update the music. So I'm rolling the Jeep. So today is all about the Jeep. And this is, you know, hey, fuck it. The best car is a car that's paid off, right? So this car is paid off. And every time I get in here, you know, it takes a little bit of mental readjusting because the controls in this car are so much different than what's in that Lyric, because the Lyric damn near drives itself most of the time. But with this car, I have to physically steer it, and I have to, you know, have my foot on this thing to accelerate and everything. So, you know, other than that, I mean, before I stopped driving this car, I cleaned it out, so it's pretty spotless, you know, and not really a whole lot to talk about, but, you know, it's nice to drive it again, you know, haven't driven it in a while. But I will say this morning I used about 1/5 of a tank of fuel, and despite what that nut job Trump says, trying to steal people's fucking Nobel Peace Prizes, he thinks that he's going to get somebody to give him a Nobel Peace Prize and he's going to go into the history books. That's not how it works. The Nobel Peace Prize is non-transferable. But I had given him the Nobel Peace Prize if he had gotten gas prices down to $1.99 for premium. But obviously that wasn't going to happen. Now he's ranting and raving about how low gas prices are. And a couple of these states are ranting and raving, oh yeah, the gas is so low. Meanwhile, when we pass the gas station, let's take a look and see how much that shit is, because it ain't low. I'll tell you that. But I'll probably get some gas later, because I think I'm going to be driving this car a couple of days, so that, because the battery voltage is low too. Because what I do is I disconnect the battery from the car, and I just basically let it sit. Now, fortunately, I haven't had a problem with crank starts, and I've been able to start the car reliably without having to use my portable jumper. But I disconnect the battery so that it can't die while the car is sitting still. So if I drive it a couple of days in a row, which I think I'm going to do, driving it a couple of days in a row will make it so that the battery will, The battery will, you know, get to a full charge. See, the problem with these cars is if the battery voltage drops below 14 volts, then you start having problems with your power steering, and you start having problems with other things. Like the radio doesn't even want to work. If you go below 12 volts, the radio doesn't work. The windshield wipers, all the accessories, shit stops working. It just stops working. And like this morning, it was really cold. It was like 28 degrees. So when I was heating it up, basically heating it up was tough because the car was like, you know, it was cold and it took an extra long time to get the car warm. Fortunately now it's, you know, it's a little bit better. I think I'm going to have to get this car an oil change because the oil's been sitting in this car for a while. So I'll probably end up getting this car oil change in February, because I think right now my oil life is pretty decent. But as far as my tires, I'm going to have to put air in the tires and everything. Because I'll probably drive this car maybe 3 or 4 days in a row. Maybe. Because I think we're supposed to have a snowstorm. And, you know, I wanted to get my inspection and everything done before the snowstorm rolls in. But as far as I know, everything else in this car is okay. Because I pretty much kept up the maintenance right up until I kind of stopped driving it. But I'm coming out of the city, and it's Friday, so that means traffic is fucked up. So that means like I probably got about 40-50 minutes of traffic in front of me. Yeah, That's that. Look at this guy's piece of shit Camry speeding and shit, endangering the public. I don't know why it is these people with these Camrys and these Honda Accords, these people drive aggressively like they have a real car or something. I don't know what that's about. Like they drive like they have like a real powerful engine or something. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. They try to drive those cars, especially these Hondas. These Hondas, man, they try to drive those cars like they're BMWs for some reason. And what's crazy is when you see these car accidents, like when you're on Instagram and you're on TikTok and you see these crazy New York City car accidents, it's usually those cars involved. It's usually an Infiniti. It's usually a Honda Accord. It's usually a BMW 3 Series. Or it's usually like one of these Toyota Camrys, right? And you wonder, well, why is that? But the thing about it is these dudes try to drive these cars like they have like a cool car. Like they try to drive these cars like they're AMGs or like they're M model BMWs. It's like, no, they're not. You're driving a slow ass front wheel drive piece of shit that's got a goddamn muffler on it to try to make it sound intimidating. And it's like all it sounds like is fart noises. But fortunately, the city installed these cameras, and the cameras have microphones on them. And if they hear that shit going by, they're going to take photos, and you're going to get $1,000 ticket in the mail that you can't fight. Let's go! They're sleeping. So anyway, yeah, these guys try to drive all aggressively, especially that model Honda right there. That model Honda, these dudes be trying to drive those damn things like they have like a BMW 5 Series. It's like, yo, dude, it's just a Honda, man. Calm down, slow down. This is not an SRT product. Calm down. And it's sad because in their mind, they think it's fast. And it's like, no, this is not fast. It's very slow. And you're going to hurt somebody because some little child is going to walk out in the street and they're going to, misinterpret. They're going to be like looking at your car and be like, oh, that's a Honda Accord. Those things are slow. I don't have to worry. They never speed. And next thing you know, you hit them. And when you hit them, like the kid's going to be like, oh my God, I just got hit by a Honda Accord, the slowest ass car on the planet. It's just pathetic. I don't know why these dudes are driving so aggressively. It doesn't make any sense. It's like if I had a Honda Accord or a Toyota, I'd probably kill myself. But if I was forced to drive one of those things every day, I wouldn't want to be seen. Like I'd be as quiet as a church mouse and you wouldn't even know I was there. Because like I wouldn't want anybody even seeing me at all. I'd rather be seen driving a minivan. Yeah. But that's how it is. I don't know. Very, very strange. Oh my God, I think I'll let these two women out because they're so trying to get out of there, so I'll just let them get out. Yes, thank you. You're very welcome, yeah. See, in New York, we have a very simple unwritten rule. If you want to pass somebody, you have to make eye contact and you have to kind of do your hands in a way where like you're begging to like pass them. Otherwise, it's like they will pay you no mind whatsoever, and they'll just drive right past you, and they will block you as you're trying to drive. So you have to make eye contact, and you have to plea with them to let you go past. It's like an unwritten rule, unspoken too. Oh shit, this thing's red. Whee! Yeah, see, these brakes are okay, but they're not as aggressive as my Cadillacs, because my Cadillac drives as if the brakes are always on. And one of the things also I should mention this about my Lyric. While I'm driving this car, I'm going to actually get the calipers on my Lyric painted red. So I'm going to have red calipers on the Lyric. That's going to be cool. Yeah, that was the plan. I got some spray enamel. So now I just have to get the guy to do it. Because I wanted the Lyric to match this car. Yep. There's like some soap scum on my... I'm going to have to wash this car, but it's freezing outside. So I don't know how I'll do that. There's like some soap scum on here. I could just let the ice and the water, salt and shit get it off. But I don't know. Figure it out later. This guy. So I think I must have an air suspension. Either that or he's got a partially lifted Expedition. It's like I don't understand how people can drive a car like that. I really don't. So as far as gas prices, look at this. Gas, $2.79, $3.19, $3.49. $3.49 is still goddamn high. As far as I'm concerned, until premium is $1.99, I don't want to hear shit. And by the way, part of the reasons why, if you do see gas start to go down, the reason why is because the oil futures may have been affected by Venezuela and the situation in Venezuela. Here's the problem, though. Our oil companies don't want to deal with Venezuela because Venezuelan oil is basically sour, and they don't want to deal with it. And not only that, they still have a stick up their ass because of the fact that the first time they went into Venezuela, they got burned by the communists, and they lost a lot of money. So the reality is they don't really want to go into Venezuela again. Because, see, one of the things that people got to understand, Trump is going to be gone soon. And once he's gone, and once these Republicans are out of office, I won't say that everything's just going to go back to normal. But what I will say is that when the other party, the Democrats, are back in charge, most of the stuff that Trump did is going to be it's going to be unwound and reversed, and you'll see. You know exactly what I'm saying. Most of the shit that he did is going to be undone. It's just that simple. Most of the shit that he did is going to be undone. The Democrats are going to run on never using ICE against the people and never using the National Guard against the people. And guess what? Because women are the mass voters and the women can outvote the men at this point, you can bet that all of these policies that the Democrats decide to run on this time around, you can bet women voters are going to vote for it. And it's sad because I hear so many of these stupid incels on Better Bachelor in the comment section. I hear these losers on Facebook on the comment section. When they're not making racist comments, they're making sexist comments. Like, repeal the 19th Amendment. Hey, stupid. That's never going to happen. It's like, why would you even say that? Like, why would you say some stupid shit like that? Women have the right to vote, just like any other U.S. citizen. All of them. White women, black women, Hispanic women. They are never going to repeal the fucking 19th Amendment. I have no idea why you'd even say something that's stupid. But again, some of these people are racists. Some of them are sexist. Some of them are trolls. Some of these dudes are pissed off that they're not getting any sex. There's no women. No women do not want them. It's like this dude, Better Bachelor. He comes on there. He preaches a lot his version of white supremacy, which is basically thinly veiled American nationalism and whatever. And it's like I'm listening to, whoa, see, this is a good car. This car, I just wish this guy would move up a little. Yeah, move up a little, because I don't want to get stuck behind this fucking light. Move up. Yeah, come on, move up. God damn it. Move up. I don't want to get stuck behind the light. All right. So anyway, that thinly veiled racism behind what they see, they don't want to be called racist. That's the thing. When you call them a racist, it triggers them. They want to be called white nationalists or American nationalists or they want to, whatever. I'm not doing it. That racist shit that they're talking, see, when it's not racism, it's sexism. And it's just that simple. It's like I call a spade a spade. And we could have gone, you idiot. What the fuck? Oh my God. A Vietnam veteran. That's the only reason I'm not blowing at this idiot. He could have gone. He could have gone the moment we got past this thing and the moment the oncoming traffic stopped, he could have gone. But you know what? Maybe he's old. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? No, you go around, bitch. Oh wait. I can't. All right, wait. God damn it. Whoa. Oh, okay. All right, you go behind me. Okay, all right. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. See, here in New York, we make this. See, first of all, oh shit, look at this. Come on, go. Come on. God damn this fucking guy. Wait. Holy shit, this fucking guy. Hold on 1 second. I got to straighten this out. All right. So this guy is a Vietnam vet, so I'm not even going to bother getting mad at him, but that guy has screwed me up at the light. See, the problem with that intersection is you've got oncoming traffic, but you have a light that allows you to get through it when it's yellow. And once you get through it, you're supposed to keep turning. But I got trapped behind this guy, and I couldn't keep turning. But, you know, it is what it is. It's like, so let bygones be bygones. It's like, whatever. So anyway, Better Bachelor, this dude comes on talking shit, and, you know, he does his best to use, Orwellian speak, so that YouTube doesn't punish him anymore. Because as far as I can see, YouTube already demonetized him. And he's trying to make his money through Patreon or OnlyFans or whatever the hell it is. But the bottom line is, this guy's mad because the women ain't looking his way. You know, the guy is short, and I didn't realize that until he actually literally said it. And it's like, yo, listen, these women are very specific and they're brutal. So unless you're willing to go, like, fly somewhere where the women are short and you're going to get a shorter woman than yourself, it's like, yeah, well, you're just going to have to deal with the fact these women don't respect you, they don't like you, and these women are literally calling for your death. Like, they say if you're a short king, you have to die and all that. And the bottom line is, he's upset. And he comes on with that racist, fucking misogynist shit. And the bottom line is, it's entertaining to some extent. But when I hear these people talking that nonsense about women are destroying everything and they need to lose the right to vote, I can agree with you that women are your biggest problem. I can agree with you. But as far as women losing the right to vote, it's like, why would you even say that? It's not going to happen. First of all, in order for any of this shit to be made a law or the Constitution to change, you got to have a constitutional convention. You're going to need 3/4 of the House, 3/4 of the Senate. You need 2/3 of the states. It's not going to happen. Where are you going to get women to vote against their own right to vote? It's not going to happen. So don't say stupid shit like that. Just don't even say it. Because when you say it, you're basically exposing yourself, and you're basically telling everybody that you're an idiot. You know, so please, just don't do that.
Sorry, could you say that again?
No, you can shut up, Siri. I didn't ask you shit. You're a watch. Just be a watch. Just shut up. Just shut up. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Can you strip on a pole?
Here's what I found.
No, I didn't. All right, never mind. That make no damn sense. So you gotta do all this traffic. Look at all this traffic, man. This is insane. Look at this shit. Every fucking Friday, look at this. All this traffic. And I'll tell you, when you're in traffic this bad and you have a decent car, even that Prius right there, those new Priuses are kind of cute. You know, they're a little nice car. They're little. Like if you're a little woman and you need a little car, like for your daughter, your girlfriend or something, those are kind of nice. I think they get like 70 miles a gallon or something. But it's like when you're in traffic like this, it's like you want to have every luxury amenity you can have. You want to have good seats. You want to have, look at the guy. You want to have good seats. You want to have massage chairs, heated, ventilated seating and all that. You want to have really good seats, you know? But, yeah, that's just that, man. It's like this traffic is insane. And you gotta get through this shit every fucking day. It's just every day. And it's just, you're just plodding along. And you're barely moving. You know, it sucks. Look at this guy. He's got this 2008 Accord Coupe. I had taken my girlfriend back then. This was a long time ago, and she wanted a Honda Accord. But she ended up getting a sedan. She didn't want the coupe model. And this car in black was sitting right there. This was a long time ago. This is 2008. And we went in there, and of course, you know, I didn't let them, you know, take her for a ride on the price, because they're always trying to add shit, trying to make you buy extra stuff and everything. So I made her buy the moonroof. I made her buy the fog lights. Oh, why do I need all this stuff? And I was like, listen, trust me, just do it. And she did it. And then later, she was like, yeah, I see why you had me do that, because now I see these other Accords on the road, and they're all cheap. and they don't have the fog lights, or they don't have the moonroof, or they don't have the navigation system. I was like, yeah, you see, that's the reason why I expected you to do it. Now, I can understand the people who want to buy these cars where all they have is the barest minimum, because they plan on keeping the thing forever, and they just want it to be a car. Because now, with thanks to China, we've got so much dash kits and shit that you can add to the car. You could put Apple CarPlay in the car. You can make it play videos. You can put all this other stuff in the car. I can understand the people who want to get the bare minimum and they just bolt on everything else. But for me, I mean, I could see going that route, but those cars just don't do anything for me. I'm sorry. They don't do nothing for me. They don't do nothing for me at all. I'm sorry. No, they don't. This sucks. This sucks so bad. I hate these people. It's like, why do they have to get out and be on the road when I'm out on the road? Like, why? Yeah, hopefully when I go to Dodge for my inspection sticker, and I'll probably go tomorrow. I'll probably go early tomorrow because I ain't got nothing else I got to do. It's going to be Saturday. I'll get up nice and early. When I go for my inspection sticker, yeah, get out of the way. Back up, Toyota. Goddamn slow-ass yards. So anyway, when I go in tomorrow for my inspection sticker, maybe there'll be something cool there to look at, but I don't know yet. This guy's got the Autobot and the Decepticon logo. It's like, dude, you got to make up your mind. I know you have an Infinity, and it's so boring, but you got to make up your mind, bro. All right, so I'm on my way right here to Security Dodge. Let's get this inspection sticker, and then I got to go and get my registration sticker, and then we'll be good. So the Jeep will be good for another 2 years. It's funny, every single time I drive this thing, I'm reminded of why it was such a good vehicle. Like, it has pretty fast steering, and for something its size, and it's funny that you could even talk about size, because this thing weighs about 5,000 pounds, give or take, and my Cadillac Lyric weighs 6,000 pounds with the driver and everything. So it's amazing, now size is all relative, because even like when you get one of these Ram TRX trucks, those things weigh 7,000 pounds basically. It's like weight, nobody even thinks about weight anymore. It's like even like that Escalade IQ, that Escalade is 9,000 pounds to 10,000 pounds because they make it with, IQL ESV. Those things weigh 10,000 freaking pounds. Look at this fucking guy. That's stupid. That's how people get, I gotta get gas. I got the fuel low indicator. All my indicators say, yeah, let's turn on like a Christmas tree. So this transmission light came on because the battery level is still low. So the battery is in battery saver mode. And the problem is the transmission starts to act up when you drop below 14 volts. So hopefully they don't give me any problem with that. If they have to, maybe they'll just charge the battery for me, since I haven't been driving this thing very much. I'm happy just to go out on a drive and come back with no lights on. But since I had to start driving it yesterday in order to, get it ready to bring here, that was unavoidable. So, they have those diagnostic tools, those start scanners. But since they took my engine apart and put it back together and rebuilt it and everything, there really shouldn't be any problem. I think the only issue will be eventually February. I'll probably get an oil change, either February or March. But this truck is always pretty much ready to go. But having to disconnect the battery in order to keep it from dying is kind of annoying. But it is what it is. So here we are, the Security Dodge. So I'm gonna roll up into their, they have a service center specifically for like oil changes and inspections and stuff. And I'm pretty sure they've probably put the 6-pack. I think that's one, nope, that's that's a scat pack. No, either that's, I can't really tell if it's a scat pack or a regular EV charger, because I can't see if it says stage 2 on it, but that looks like the regular one. And it's like now I'm going to the charging stations. And when I go to the charging stations and I meet people who have these electric Dodge Chargers, they want me to ask about it. Oh, that's the 4-door right there. I see it's got 4 doors on it. They want me to ask about it, but I just don't care to ask about it. So it's like, they'll be like, oh, hey, you want to hear something? It's like, yeah, I've already heard it. It's like, yeah, I wasn't impressed then. I'm not impressed now. So no, I don't really want to hear it. No. Okay. And they also do fixing of flats, but I don't need a flat fixed. So that's good. All right, so let me put this bad boy right here. Let's see how long it'll take to do an inspection. All right, let's go in there and check. All right, and then I could probably walk over there while they're doing it, find out about what kind of, did they get any more 6-packs in? I might even do a test drive. Who knows? If I'm here long enough, I probably won't be here long enough. I don't even really want to drive it, honestly. But we'll see. I'm trying to think. What does it say if you're a Lexus dealer and you've got a whole bunch of fucking Corvettes being traded in, huh? I never really liked the new Corvette because I don't really care how fast it is. I don't think it's very exciting. But then on top of that, it gives the impression that it's built in a way that kind of makes it like a toy, like it's just irrelevant, And I don't know how Corvette sales are doing, nor do I care. But the Corvette, it just doesn't really interest me at all. It's like that's the kind of car I would never, ever, ever, ever buy. But what's so crazy about it is they've created it in a way where it's just like a throwaway car. It's like Corvettes aren't supposed to be throwaway cars. Corvettes are supposed to be cars that you like collect, those, like the old Corvettes, those things were like pieces of art, but these new Corvettes, man, these things are like, they might as well be Camaros. Like, I don't see the point. I don't see anything special about them at all. I really don't. Even the new ones, like the ZR1, the ZR1X, it's like all you're doing is you're creating this shit. You're putting this stuff out there in order to, to just say, yeah, we made this. But it doesn't, there's nothing exciting about it, So it's like, whatever. It's just not for me. So anyway, I'm just going to get some gas here. I have no gas left. And I have absolutely no gas. So I got to get some gas. And what is gas? Let's see how much we're getting fucked for gas since Trump claimed gas prices coming down. It's $3.37. That's not down. That shit is still high as fuck. That's not low. Only a Trump supporter with his head up Trump's ass could imagine that this is low. I'll tell you what, Trump, when you get it down to $1.99 premium, that's when I'll applaud you. Other than that, you're full of shit. Yeah, that's the one thing that these gas cars are going to have over electric cars for a long time. It's that it's so easy to refuel them so long as there's no problem like hurricanes or whatever. Because right now, a lot of people are rushing to the gas station because, they think that there's a snowstorm coming in, and there probably is. I don't know how bad it's going to be. But the interesting thing is, it's like, me personally, I prefer electric. I'm looking at this little Hyundai, man. That thing looks like a minivan. I think that's like one of those Santa Fe's or something. I'm not even sure what that is. That thing looks like a minivan, but that's the exact type of car I would have if I had children and we were doing road trips. That's exactly what I would have. And hopefully it has like a regular, naturally aspirated engine, because that would be perfect, because this way you don't have to worry about turbochargers and all types of shit causing problems, braking and stuff. But that's part of the reason why I kept this Jeep. That's the reason why I never got rid of this Jeep. First of all, because if I did get rid of it, it's like there's no other vehicle that you could buy that wouldn't be like over $100,000 with the features that this car has. It's like, it didn't make sense to sell it. It made more sense to just keep it. And this way, I always have a gas, car, truck, whatever you want to call it. Part of me kind of wants to buy a flatbed truck. part of me. But I just haven't seen anything I really want. Okay. So here we are. Get back on the road. Oh, that's a nice Explorer. All right. Okay. So it looks like a lot of me issues. I think ultimately I may have to get another battery. And I had to get another battery because, you know, it's funny. Now you see the transmission light went off, and because I keep disconnecting the battery, that becomes an issue. See, basically what it is you know, I have to drive this car for like 2 or 3 days straight and then get it inspected, because otherwise all of my freaking the lights come on because of the low voltage, causing some of the systems to malfunction. You know, it's really annoying. You know, the only reason why I keep this car is because it's paid off. Had it not been paid off, I would have just traded it in. But, you know, I'll hold on to it for as long as I have to. Because other than that, I have a good mind to trade this sumbitch in. You know, but the most I'd get for it at this point is probably about $15,000 maybe. But it's almost worth more to me to have it. You know, it's worth more to me to have it than to trade this thing in. Because, see, that Lyric, I have to decide what I'm going to do. The Lyric was more expensive than they're actually selling the Vistic for. But my thing is, I don't want a second truck. It's not that it's an electric vehicle. I don't want a second truck. You know, why would I have 2 SUVs at my house? It's like I like the idea of having 1 SUV and 1 car, or at least 2 vehicles that are diametrically different. Anyway. Yeah, as long as it does what it has to do. As long as it does what it has to do. Strange stars. And you got purple Cybertruck selling goddamn marijuana. That's just unforgivable. That's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. What's this? It's a nice quiet day. I do believe that, again, we're supposed to have a snowstorm or something. But there's not really much going on today. It looks like everything's nice and quiet.
What do you do for work?
I'm a student.
How do you afford to raise 3 kids while being a student?
God help me.
Does the American taxpayer help you too?
Also, yes.
This is Curious Joel, a village of 44,000 Hasidic Jews in upstate New York that primarily speak Yiddish. Women have 7 kids on average. It's one of the fastest growing towns in America, with many men religiously studying the Torah full time and rely on state assistance and welfare programs to feed and house their massive families. How many kids do you have? 7? How do people afford to have so many kids here?
They don't afford, we help each other. We open 2 groceries called Maite. We're giving them 50% discount.
Like, how many kids per family?
10, 12, 14, 15.
I'm trying to figure out how you guys afford to have so many kids, though.
I'm struggling.
You struggling?
Some of them get being supported by community members.
Yes. How do people afford to have such big families then?
The same.
How long does the prayer last?
We go from 6 o'clock in the morning until the night.
When do they work if they're praying all day?
They're not praying all day.
How do you afford to raise 3 kids while being a student?
Because I work very hard. God help me.
Does the American taxpayer help you too?
Also, yes.
Housing assistance or Section 8, EBT, SNAP, Medicare?
Yes.
Could I move here as a non-Hasidic Jew?
It's not true.
It's not true?
No, nobody can stop you. You're not gonna be comfortable.
But would someone actually rent or sell me a house out here? Unlikely, right?
It's not unlikely. I mean, unlikely maybe. I can't.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go get my lyric right now. I'll show you the job that was done on my brakes. I'll show you how they look. And look at this. There's a Jeep SRT right there, the old one, pulling up on me. He must have seen me driving past all these goddamn plebeians, all these slow-ass 4-cylinder and these slow-ass 6-cylinder cars. He must have seen me riding, because I was driving fast, boy. I was passing everybody. I didn't even want to put that shit on camera. Last thing I need is these goddamn feds coming after me. Look at this shit. All these boring, slow-ass Porsches. Yeah. In fact, let me turn that off, because goddamn YouTube copyrights. Got to deal with that stupid nonsense. YouTube is out of control, man. They got goddamn commercials every 5 seconds. I'm in the shower trying to listen to some shit, and they got fucking commercials every 5 freaking seconds on me. Oh, look at that guy. They got every 5 seconds they got a commercial. They screwed up the YouTube app. They make it so you can't listen to the shit if the screen is off. So you're wasting power and you're wasting screen time on your phone. And it's ridiculous. And then you would think that having more commercials means that we would get paid more money as YouTubers, but that's not happening because they're manipulating goddamn traffic. So you really don't make more money for the commercials. I'm looking at these dudes who got like 800,000 subscribers. Take a look at Derek Jackson's channel. So he's running this channel. He's up there simping for these women, right? And the thing about it is, you think that he's making a lot of money. He's not. And you look at his channel, he's got like 10,000 views per video. He's lucky to see 30,000 views. How is it possible that you got 800,000 subscribers, but you're getting like nothing on your video? That's YouTube. They're screwing us over. So my thing is, I'm going to keep using them. Tax season is here. Yeah, my car's right up in there. Tax season is here. And the thing about it is, I'm going to keep using them, and I'm going to keep making my money. But the thing is really stupid, because the thing about it is, because of this dumbass fucking policies and bullshit, it's like we're losing money. And the thing about it, you thought they'd have learned their lesson, because they cost Google so much money back in what was it? They cost Google all that money back in during COVID. You'd think they'd have learned their lesson. They didn't even learn their freaking lesson. So stupid. But I tell you what, I don't know if there's ever going to be a good YouTube competitor. That's what Elon Musk should be doing instead of running his fucking stupid, racist-ass mouth. I got to pay them, of course. And the other problem I've got is I've got to take this car home, and then I got to come back and get the freaking Lyric out of the shop. So we got the red calipers on the Lyric too. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, yeah, you can kind of see that red coming through there. You can kind of see it. All right. Yeah. So I had this red Rust-Oleum automotive paint spray, and now we got red all over. All right, looks good. Looks good. We got red in the front too. All right. All right. We got the wheel on. So we got some red in there. You see that? Got a little bit of red in there. All right. A little bit of red in there. Just a little, not too much. Just a little red. I like the way these rims look compared to the V-Series. But the V-Series, to me, kind of doesn't... I'm not crazy about the way the V-Series looks. And nor would I take out another $89,000 loan to get the same car. But I like the way this looks. Yeah. I've never actually had a picture of both of my cars together. Because, I never actually take pictures like that. But now they both match. Hey, it's Big Shirley. All right. Probably gonna have him put it right there because I gotta go home and then come back. All right, here we go. All right. All right. Not bad. Not bad. That's cool.
The world has changed much since that last visit. And I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is touting a new strategic partnership with China in talks with Xi Jinping in Beijing as part of what he has said is a new world order, in part due to the fallout from Trump tariffs in the United States. Now, there's been a noticeable tone shift from Ottawa towards Beijing as Carney wraps up the first state visit to China by a Canadian leader in more than 8 years. Now, after a lengthy diplomatic chill, the two nations have signed a series of agreements, including an energy pact that could see more Chinese investment in Canada and open up opportunities for China to buy more Canadian oil and LNG. Also, in quite a breakthrough, Carney says Canada will allow 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles into Canada at a tariff of just 6.1%, down from 100%. Xi reciprocated, according to Carney, by reducing its 100% ag tariff on canola, or rapeseed, to 15%. Xi Jinping hailed the talks as having achieved positive results.
I'd like to know what Canada is doing to protect the integrity of Greenland. And related, China fashions itself a near Arctic power and with some claims to Arctic resources. So I wonder if you could answer that question, what we're doing to help protect Greenland's integrity, and how do you feel about China's claims, such as they are, to Arctic resources?
Well, to several aspects of that. The first, with respect to Greenland, the future of Greenland is a decision for Greenland and for the Kingdom of Denmark. We are NATO partners with Denmark, and so our full partnership stands. Our obligations on Article 5, Article 2 of NATO stand, and we stand full square behind them.
Now, initially, I might be concerned if I didn't know that this plan is stupid and it's not going to work, and it probably isn't going to go any further than what I see right now. But I guess it's important to pay attention to what's happening and also to, how should I say, educate other people as to what's happening, just so, people know what's happening, basically. So the story is Trump admin proposes allowing use of 401k for down payments on your house, or home down payments, how you could reap the benefits. All right, now, first of all, before I even read this, very short story. I've told this story actually before. I had a female friend during COVID, and she wanted to buy a house not very far away from where I live. But the house that she wanted to buy is in a higher taxed area. She on her house property, she got way more land than I got for my property. I'd say she probably has twice as much land, possibly more than twice as much land. So therefore, she pays higher property taxes. Now, it's a decent house. It's not a tremendously, how should I say, it's not a tremendously extravagant house, but it is a decent house. It did have a very nice addition that was put onto the back of it. It was like a gazebo or something. And the only thing about it is she would have to put a lot of work into it, or had to put a lot of work into it to, how should I say, to bring it up to code and everything. Because a lot of houses are, how should I say, have problems. Some of them are in disrepair. If you buy some of these houses, they're older, you've got to put a lot of work into them, so forth and so on. So anyway, she didn't really talk much to me about it. Like, some people who I know, they like to surprise me. Like, they like to do stuff without asking my suggestions. Like, they like to do it without asking any, how should I say, any advice and everything. And usually it doesn't turn out very well. But anyway, she goes, she buys this place, signs for it, and then she tells me about it later. So what ended up happening was she took money out of her retirement plan, and she used that as the down payment to buy the place, in addition to money she had. She also rented it out, and by renting it out, what she didn't realize was that when you are a landlord and you have people paying you money, that actually counts as income, right? So ultimately, long story short, her tax burden was considerably higher than she expected it to be. And on top of that, because she took money out of her retirement, she also got hit with a large penalty for taking money out of her retirement. Now, when I think back, I'm looking backwards, a lot has changed since she actually bought the place. For one thing, she bought it right about at the time when house values were skyrocketing, especially as a first-time home buyer. So in the long run, the house that she bought has appreciated in value simply because this is New York. And if I could give her advice back then, I would have probably told her, don't take money out of your retirement. If you don't have the money saved, try to figure out something else. And are you sure that you want to buy this place considering how high the tax burden is going to be? Because the reality is, my focus when I bought my houses, I wasn't trying to buy extravagant houses. I was trying to buy things that I knew that I could easily afford. I was trying to buy things that I knew that I could easily rent out to tenants. I was trying to buy things that I knew the taxes were cheap. In fact, when I had my agent searching for the places that I ended up purchasing, one of the stipulations was I want the taxes to be as low as possible. And sure enough, he did exactly, what I asked, and I found 2 decent places. And 2 houses cost what her one house cost. She paid twice as much for her house as I paid buying 2 houses. Both of mine were capped at $300,000. Hers was over $650,000. So she paid way more than twice as much as I paid for 2 different houses. Now, her idea, okay, she wanted to rent it out. And that was, see, a lot of people got this, I don't know where they were getting this idea from, that you should buy a house and then you should rent it out to tenants and make money that way. Because that is like pure speculation. And the problem is, especially nowadays, you have no idea what kind of tenants you're going to get. You have no idea if these are going to be tenants who are, paying you regularly. You have no idea if these tenants are going to damage your property, so forth and so on. But long story short, for the most part, things worked out for her. She slept in the basement. She had the basement finished. She slept in the basement, and the family was renting out the upper floors. Now, me personally, I would never sleep in my own basement while people are living above me in a house that I own. Ever. That would never fucking happen. I would never do that. I would feel like a troll or a golem being underneath people who are renting my property. It's funny, I have an aunt, and she has like a house worth about $3 million. And when she bought it, it was only worth like maybe $165,000, $170,000 when she bought it, right? And she's had tenants in her basement, and where she is, like the Brooklyn, Manhattan area, like right at the edge of Brooklyn, Manhattan, she could easily be charging these people $4,000 or more for a basement apartment where she is. Very, very close to the stadiums. People would pay that much, but people pay $4,000, $5,000 for an apartment like that, where you have even a 1-bedroom apartment with 1 bathroom and a kitchen. People pay $5,000 for that a month. Understand that this is New York. The laws of physics do not apply here. The laws of nature do not apply here. But anyway, I would have said to her, I would have told my friend, I would have been like, you know what? Are you really sure you want to do that? And chances are you probably shouldn't do that. So now in 2025 and in 2026, we're in 2026 now. Looking back, yes, she has her piece of property, but she also has that huge burden on the taxes. And she also, she's basically one of these people, you call them house poor, spending all your money on a house that for the most part, you don't really even get to enjoy it because I don't know how you could enjoy sleeping in a basement while you got people renting above you. I can't understand that shit. But you're basically house poor. All of your money is going towards this house. Now, yes, you do have a piece of property that you can look at and say, yes, I have a piece of property. The problem is the way it was supposed to be is that you're not supposed to be putting more than 50% of the money that you earn into that house every single month. They called it a debt to income ratio. And they said, listen, your debt to income ratio should be lower than like 0.5. So what that's basically saying is you should be spending less than half of your money that you earn every month on that house. You should not be spending more than half of your money on that house. But a lot of people ended up cash poor and house poor. So they're putting all their money into this house. Yes, they have a place to live, but they don't have much money for anything else. So why am I saying all that? Well, here's the thing. I personally do not believe you should be touching your retirement for any reason. Your retirement is to retire. Now, there are some people who use it for their children's education. I disagree with that. I think that, especially this day and age, there are people who want to send their kids to these big name schools, and just because the school has a big name, that's why they're sending these kids to these schools. And ultimately, they're getting degrees that are just as useful or useless as if they had gone to a regular school and spent less money. But these people don't want to hear that. Oh, no, he got to go to the Penn State or Binghamton or some shit. And they come up with they got all these names out there for the school industrial complex. The bottom line is these people are going broke sending these kids to these schools. Now, there's other people, they take their money and they spend it on their house, their retirement. They spend it on their house. I think that's not a good idea either. Your retirement is for retiring. It's not for you to put into a house. Now, I know there's some people, they got to do renovations and they have nowhere else to get money from except their retirement. Now, Dave Ramsey would probably say, well, why can't you save money and put that into the home improvements? But you have a lot of people who are trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you have a lot of people who feel it necessary to take out loans to have it now. Buy now, pay later, they call it. So the reality is you have more and more people who are house poor. They're going broke on their houses. But then they're dipping into their retirement for stupid reasons. Maybe it's to go on vacations. They don't save up the money to go on vacation. They're taking out of their retirement. They're buying these luxury cars. They don't save up to buy the luxury car. They're taking it out of their retirement. And it's sad because I sit back and I watch all this and I see what's happening because I see it. You got to understand, I have sold houses. I've refinanced houses. And my thing is, it's like when I look at it, it's like, you know how they say you'll own nothing and you'll be happy about it? It's like they've turned every single thing into a subscription or a loan. They want to keep you in debt for the rest of your natural life. And I just find it so amazing that people keep falling for this shit. That's why, I was having this conversation. I was saying, you know what? These kids are going to be renting for the rest of their lives. Now, I know there's a lot of adults and they'll be like, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to save, money and give it to my kid, or I'm going to have this house and give the house to my kid. Your kid is going to lose whatever you give them. If you give them money, your kid is going to spend it up. If you leaving this kid a house, that house is going to end up in the bank's hands somehow. You have no idea how it'll happen. It could be a divorce. You know, your kid gets married and then they end up losing that property in a divorce because the other person decides that they want to leave and take half. It could be property taxes grow too high, because you got to remember, when these houses appreciate, the main hidden costs of owning a house: insurance and property taxes. Now, my property taxes are low enough where I don't care about the property taxes. I don't even think about it. Property taxes will never have me up at night because I don't have to worry about my value appreciating so much that my property taxes go sky high. House insurance is the other thing. I don't have to worry about those values going up that high where I have to really worry about not being able to sleep at night. But a lot of these other people, especially these people, oh yes, well, I've got a multi-million-dollar house and all this. Yeah, you also have multi-million-dollar taxes on that house. Property taxes on that house have also gone up. Or your insurance on your multi-million-dollar house has gone up. So, you know, while they're busy bragging about, you know, how much value they got, the problem is they're also paying so much money into that hidden cost, you know. But you know, I ramble a little bit about that, but then I think to these stupid ass plans that Trump has come up with. I think the first one, because you got to go back. First of all, I'm still waiting for my Dodge check. That was $5,000. Still haven't gotten it. Still waiting for this tariff check that we're supposed to be getting, $2,000. Haven't gotten that. All Trump does is throw up all these bullshit ideas, and nothing is going to come of any of it at all. Now, I'm thinking to this, he was saying, yeah, we should increase the mortgages and have longer mortgages. The banks immediately says, no, that doesn't make any sense at all. Everybody said that doesn't make any sense. The longer you make the mortgage, first of all, the longer it takes for you to gain equity, because you gain equity super slow. And then on top of that, chances are you'd be in debt for your entire life and you'd never even live to pay the place off because the mortgage is just so long. So everybody's basically saying, yeah, it's a stupid idea and it's never going to happen. The banks are never going to accept that. But then he comes back and and this was recently, within the last 2 weeks, he's like, oh yeah, you know, we should cut the interest rates on the credit cards and pause the interest rate. It's like, hey, guess what, asshole? That's not going to happen because the banks only give people credit because they know that these people chances are going to abuse their credit, and they're going to end up running revolving balances, and they're going to end up paying the bank way more money in interest. So the bottom line is, it's a stupid idea. First of all, it's a non-starter. The banks are never going to agree to that. And even if you force the banks to, let's say Trump says, yeah, by presidential decree, I'm pausing interest rates. You know what the banks will do? They'll simply stop giving people credit, or they'll reduce people's credit. Like they'll reduce the maximum amount you're allowed to spend. Like I think about my credit cards. Apple Card, I got $11,000 credit limit on my Apple Card. Why do I have an $11,000 credit limit on a card which I will probably never use to buy anything more than about $2,000 or $3,000? There will never be a $10,000 iPhone. Yeah, they have a couple of Mac computers that are like $10,000, $15,000. I would never buy anything even remotely like that, ever. Apple gave me $11,000, or I should say Goldman Sachs MasterCard gave me $11,000 as a credit limit. I think to my other cards, I've got a credit card with a limit of $20,000 on it. Now, that card I actually use because when I want to book my vacations, and you're booking these business class vacations all over the world and shit, I'm counting down the days. I'm going to Vietnam. I'm going to Cambodia. I'm going to Bora Bora. It's like, yeah, okay, I need the limits for those cards. And they know that I don't run revolving balances. They know that I pay it back immediately. So what would happen if they said, oh, well, you know, the president cut the interest rates, so we're going to reduce your credit limit? Well, guess what? If that's the case, I'd stop using the card. Because if I can't get that benefit of, see, I'm playing by the rules. I'm doing what you're supposed to do. And because of that, I reap the benefits. The people who run revolving balances, the people who don't pay the credit card back on time, they are subsidizing people like me. So if Trump were to is somehow, and I know it's not going to happen, he floats these ideas and they're stupid ideas and nothing ever comes of them. But let's say he somehow managed to pause these interest rates. All the credit cards are going to do is they're going to stop giving credit, or they're going to stop giving it to the people who he needs the credit to go to in order for them to keep voting for these Republicans. Because they already know the Republicans are going to get slaughtered this election season. That's part of what with this shit in Minnesota and this white woman getting shot down by ICE, and you've got these constant, what are these people? Agent provocateurs fighting these ICE agents and everything. Trump knows the Republicans are fucked in November. He knows it. So he keeps trying to come up with these ideas, trying to placate to the base. Here's the problem, though. The housing market is fucked. It's completely fucked. The Federal Reserve kept interest rates low for so long that now just about everybody who owns a house or is in a house is trapped in a very low interest mortgage. Now, whether or not their property taxes or insurance have adjusted and caused their mortgage to become less affordable, that's neither here nor there. But the issue is these people will not sell these places if they can help it. Because if they sell, they already understand that they're selling such a major asset in their life that they're probably never going to be able to buy another one. And they understand that. People are trapped in their mortgages right now. Now, Trump came up with this idea of portable mortgages. So basically, the house that I'm in right now, I have a 3% on it fixed for 15 years. So he's basically saying, yeah, if you want to go to another house that's more expensive, you can take that 3% with you to the other house. Yeah, but guess what? First of all, the banks are never going to go for that shit because, number one, that causes way too many problems. What people seem to forget, credit itself is causing inflation. And they don't talk about credit like they talk about the Federal Reserve printing money. The Federal Reserve printing money does cause inflation, but credit itself also increases demand and thereby decreases supply. So the reality is they've completely fucked this housing market up to the point where I'm pretty sure it's not going to crash simply because nobody's abandoning their houses. They can't abandon their houses. There's nowhere to go. They need to have a shelter. They're not going anywhere. So they're stuck right where they are. The only people who have flexibility are people who are older, wealthier, and retiring. Those people have some flexibility because they're fixed income. The problem that they have is how do they leave the house they're in now and where would they go? Because they'd still be facing high home values, high property taxes, and high insurance. So everybody's stuck right where they are. Now, there are a couple of people you hear, oh, yeah, I'm moving to Florida, and I'm moving over here, and I'm moving over there. Yeah, okay, that's fantastic. But guess what? Most of these people can't do that. And there are some new towns that are being built, and there are some new places that are being built, but usually those places are being built far away from the cities. And on top of being far away from the cities, the other problem is nobody really wants to live in those places. There's nothing there, So the reality is we're facing an inventory shortage, for one. And I've heard some people try to argue that there's not really an inventory shortage because they point to all the houses that are on the market that aren't selling. But I would argue, yeah, there is an inventory shortage because there's an inventory shortage of affordable houses. That's the problem. So if you're telling me that the starting value of a fucking house is over $500,000 or $600,000, and you're talking about that's what you need to pay just to get into a piece of shit, a starter house, then you're basically saying, yeah, you do have an inventory problem. Because I will say it like this. When you have interest rates at a 5 or 6%, just about anything over $300,000 becomes extremely unaffordable. First of all, singles could forget it. Singles, unless you're making millions of dollars a year or you're making $250,000 a year, A single can forget it. But guess what? Fewer and fewer women and men are getting married. So if there's not that many married couples and there's not that many people bringing salaries of $200,000 or together combined, then yeah, they're not going to be able to afford just about any of these places because they'd be basically looking at a $5,000 a month mortgage with the taxes and insurance included. It's not going to happen. So the reality is, no, this housing market is fucked. I keep hearing people, oh yeah, well, when the housing market crashes, I'm going to. Guess what, bro? The housing market is not going to crash. This is not 2008. People are not abandoning their properties. People right now are stuck inside their property. And what you need is for them to abandon them, and they're not going to do it. And what was it? There was another story that I had heard. I heard there was another news story, and they were trying to convince basically people to let people live with them or some shit. And I think that was something that I think New York was trying to float that idea. Yo, listen. First of all, I have way too much cool shit in my house. I would never. I've seen these horror stories with these Section 8 animals tearing up people's houses just because they got evicted. I would never let any of these people in my house. Ever. 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 That's number one. Number two, just like I mentioned, you have these people losing their properties to like divorce and stuff. I would never put a woman's name on any of my property. All of my property has the same thing in common. It's only got one name on it. It's got my name on it. And that's it. You know, I hate to ramble so much because I didn't even get to the story. But I got a call from an acquaintance earlier. My acquaintance, not going to name names. So this person tells me that they are trying to get their finances in order because it looks like they're going to be divorcing, right? But guess what? This person is divorcing for the third fucking time. And I'm thinking to myself, what would possess somebody? You got divorced for the first time. Okay, it happens. You learn your lesson, right? But then you got married a second time. You got married a second time, and that didn't work out either. It's almost like people think 3 times a charm or something. It's like, why would you do this a third fucking time? Like, it doesn't make any goddamn sense at all. It makes no sense. You did this 3 times. So anyway, this person is losing the place that they're living. So it's not, and that's the whole thing about this divorce shit. I'm seeing these women talking all of this fucking psychobabble mumbo jumbo bullshit. Oh, I gotta find myself. Oh, I gotta be a free spirit. Basically, what they're doing is they're getting their hand deep into your pocket, and when they decide to cut and run, they're taking whatever you got, half of whatever you got. If they can get more, they get more. And then they're leaving you. Now, in this person's case, the person who they're divorcing from these are senior citizens. These are older people, right? And the thing is, it's like, wait a minute. They're not going to remarry somebody else. So what the fuck are they leaving for? But that's just what they do. So now, let's say that they don't have access to your assets, but you live together. Now you got to find another place to live. You're in the worst possible housing market that you could possibly be in. I've never imagined America could be this fucked up. When I was a kid, I never, ever possibly could have imagined this country would be this fucked up right now. This president, I don't give a fuck how you feel about him. The way this president is currently, we're threatening NATO allies over fucking Greenland for right now. We're illegally kidnapping dictators, elected leaders, democratically elected leaders. We're kidnapping them on bogus drug charges. I never imagined that the state of this country would be this fucked up right now. And people can say whatever they want, but the thing about it is, the proof is in the pudding. When these elections come around, you're going to find out just what I'm talking about. And I know you want to be, oh, yeah, well, the last election. No, the last election was fucked up, too. Everybody that Trump endorsed lost, all of them. My city got a mayor, which all of the racists never imagined we'd ever get. And the reason why is very simply because these younger people are disgusted with business as usual. And now they're ready to vote for anybody else. And it's just that simple. So, no, I never imagined, and not only that, I mean, there's also the relationship issues too. I never imagined things would be this bad between men and women, where the women are trying to compete with the men. But here's the secret. The women can't compete with the men. At the end of the day, men outwork women. Now, the only thing that these women can do is get themselves a welfare job that pays them for the little bit of work that they do. If I had to, I could be right out there digging construction, or I could be building some shit. I'm not going up on any of them tall story buildings or anything like that. But if they really needed to, they could put a shovel in my hand and they could get work out of me. Most of these women, they can't do none of that shit at all. That's why you've never seen women building anything. When you go to the construction sites, they're just holding a sign and say, hey, okay, slow down, come this way. And the simple fact is they don't build anything. They tear down shit real fucking well, but they don't build anything. And that's the reality. But I never imagined things would be this bad. I never imagined it. And I don't mind saying it. I never imagined things would be this fucked up right now. I never imagined it. But as far as this story, so Trump likes to float stupid ideas. And now this is his latest stupid idea. Never mind the fact that he hasn't gotten that Dodge check to me or that tariff check. I'm still waiting for it. That would have been $7,000 that I haven't seen. But anyway, it says President Trump is set to reveal a plan next week to allow U.S. homebuyers to make withdrawals from their 401k accounts in order to make a down payment on a house. The plan, signaled on Friday by National Economic Council Director Hassett in an interview on Fox Business News, is the latest attempt by the Trump administration to ease the housing affordability crisis ahead of midterm elections this year. We're going to allow people to take money out of their 401ks and use that for a down payment, Hassett told Fox Business Mornings with Maria on Friday. Now, first of all, before I even go on, you already know that this is a terrible idea. First of all, if people can all take money out of their 401ks, then you know what that means? That means that the demand will rise, and if the demand rises, supply will immediately go down. Or it also means that the people who are selling will raise their prices knowing that they can get more money out of you. But what this ultimately leads to is people taking money out of their retirement that they probably won't be able to replenish. They probably won't be able to put that money back. And that's just a simple fact. They probably will not be able to put that money back. And if they can't put that money back, you can guarantee you're going to have more and more of these old-ass people. We all know of old-ass people who are on a job. These people should be at home. They should be at home enjoying their grandchildren. But they're stuck working, and they can't stop working because they just don't have enough money to retire. Now, I already done told you, when I retire, you're never going to probably see me again. I'll be in Southeast Asia, or one of them, either it'll be Thailand, Philippines, something like that, one of those places. And I'm going to be an expat living down there, living the quiet life with my chick half my age or a third my age, dropping my babies, and I'll just be living on the beach, just chilling. I have no aspirations. Some of these people here, they want to work themselves to death for this system. I have no aspirations. I have no plans on doing any of that bullshit. To hell with these people. My thing is, I'm going to be living the peaceful life, just peace and quiet, and just doing nothing with my life at all, except enjoying the peace and quiet. And I know some people, wouldn't you rather be at work giving? No, fuck that. But some of these people, they enjoy this. I look at all these old ass people waking up every day to get to a fucking job because they have nothing left in retirement, or they have no retirement at all, or whatever it is with their Social Security, it's just not enough money. And they're still trying to pay off the house that they bought late in life, or they're trying to pay off an apartment or something, whatever it is. That is not, I swear, that is not going to be me. I don't give a shit if I have to move to the poorest Aborigine village I can possibly move to. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. I will go to one of them villages in South America, or one of them villages with the women where everybody's naked and they just run around chasing fucking deer and shooting bears and shit with arrows, and that's how they eat dinner. It's like I will put all my money into a high interest earning savings account, and I will just live amongst them Aborigines. I'll just pretend that I'm poor, and that's what I'll do. But I refuse to die like these people are going to die here. Build to bill, living build to bill. I'm not doing that. It's not happening. I will go to the poorest village I can find in a developing country, and I'll just live very quietly. I'll just live near the sea, near the beach, wherever the beach is. Just live near the beach, because this is bullshit. Like, this is absolute bullshit. But you'll see me in Vietnam very soon. Counting down the days. Vietnam and Cambodia. I'm just counting down the days. In fact, you know what I've been doing lately? I've been looking up the Vietnam War and what caused the Vietnam War and what happened and all that, and how many people were lost and all that shit. I've been looking up little factoids about Vietnam and everything, preparing my mind to go down there to Vietnam to deal with them people, because I'm going to be there for a while. I'm going to be there for over a month. Vietnam and Cambodia. That's where we're going. We're going to Nam. But let me tell you something. These people, goddamn, it looks like they're about to have a civil war down there in Minneapolis. But I tell you, this place is crazy. What is this? Okay, so anyway, let's get back to the stories. What does it say? Read more. Okay, Hassett downplayed concerns that allowing savers to tap into their 401ks could hurt them later in retirement, saying the White House is working on a simple way to allow withdrawals without hurting overall savings. We're still talking about the mechanics of it, but suppose that you put 10% down on a home, and then you take 10% of the equity of the home and put it in an asset, as an asset, your 401k. Then your 401k will grow over time. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But they believe it makes sense. President Trump will present the final plan during the economic conference in Davos next week. Americans are currently unable to withdraw funds from a 401k for a first-time home purchase without paying a tax penalty. Those who make withdrawals before age 59 and a half must pay an additional 10% tax unless they are eligible for a specific exemption according to the IRS. There is already a first-time home buyer exception that allows penalty-free withdrawals up to $10,000 from IRA, SEP, Simple IRA, and SARSEP plans, but it does not include 401ks. Okay. It's unclear whether the new exception that Hassett announced would also cap out at $10,000. President Trump pledged to improve housing affordability for Americans still reeling from Joe Biden's economic disaster. What a bunch of fucking bullshit. First of all, Joe Biden's economic disaster. See, people have fucking bullshit memories, and there's a lot of revisionist history. But guess what? The reality is Trump was in charge from, 2016 to 2020. COVID cost him his presidency. And to tell you the truth, I really think people were so fed up with him at that time, by that time, that it didn't really matter who the Democrats ran. But Biden happened to be the winner. Now, I know there's a lot of people who want to say, oh, yeah, well, Biden stole the election and all that shit. But guess what? I personally was forecasting that Trump was going to get wiped out in the 2020 election. And people who've argued with me know what I'm saying. Everybody was arguing, everybody was saying I was wrong. But what I saw was that people were going to be so fed up that they were going to figure out a way to get Trump out of office. Now, you can say it was illegal, or you can say it was stolen, you can say that whatever you want to say. But one thing is for certain, they got him up out of there in 2020. Looks like they ready to get him up out of there again. Now, I don't know if they, because see, the Democrats are a bunch of pussies, in my opinion. If it was me and I was in charge of the Democrat Party, it would be absolute fucking warfare. But the bottom line is, the Democrats, if they're planning to impeach Trump, the question is, are they planning to impeach and remove him? Now, the last time they got Trump up out of there, they had January 6th. Now, of all the people that day who died, the only one who seemed to get a bullet that earned it was Ashley Babbitt. You don't climb through a window to get at Congress when you try to simultaneously claim that the cops let you in and you were on a guided tour. If you're on a guided tour, you certainly don't try to climb up and over a barricaded window. She got killed on tape. We have the video. So I was watching. In fact, I broadcast for 7 hours that day when that was happening. And right after she got popped, that's when, everything started to die down and they really started to take control, because then that's when everybody realized, oh shit, this is real. The government's shooting at us. But after she got popped and she dropped like a sack of potatoes, that's when I think everybody realized, oh shit, this is real. We can't do this. I think this is illegal what we're doing. They knew it, but it took one person to get popped for the rest of them to see it. They're like, oh, I thought this was a guided tour. Get the hell out of here. You don't try to climb through a window on a guided tour. You don't break windows on a guided tour. You don't go into Pelosi's office on a guided tour and kick up your feet and shit on the floor. You don't do that on a guided tour. But listen, people can believe whatever they want to believe. Y'all just better thank God I wasn't in charge that day. Because if I was in charge that day, things would have looked mighty different. But anyway, where are we? I was saying that to say that they're trying to blame Biden for this. But really, you kind of have to really go back all the way to 2001 when we had 9/11. Because to tell you the truth, the Federal Reserve at that time, under Alan Greenspan, the Federal Reserve started printing money then, and they claim it was to bring us out of a recession. But the bottom line is, it was a poor decision. It was a poorly targeted government program. And what that really did was it pumped so much credit into the system that a lot of people had no intent on paying back. But you're forcing all this credit into the system and allowing these people to borrow all this money. And they had no intention of paying that shit back, nor could many of them pay it back, because some of them went bankrupt. But, a lot of them lost their jobs. A lot of them went bankrupt. So the reality is, let's say I didn't blame Bush. Let's say I didn't blame Trump. Let's say I didn't blame Biden. And let's say I certainly didn't blame Obama, because everybody loved to blame Obama. He came in there in 2009 when the Congress was already ready to sign on to a bailout. So now he gets the blame for the $1 trillion+ bailout that the Congress was already planning to do. Whatever. It's all revisionist history. You believe what you want. I'd like to go back and say, this was really about Alan Greenspan after 2001. You can believe whatever you want. Honestly, I really don't care. But it's up to you. I mean, it's up to you. You believe what you want. But, okay, I can agree that the Federal Reserve is mostly to blame for this, because their 0% interest rate policy is pretty much what's killed the current housing market. Also, by having these interest rates so low, they've allowed And corporations really aren't the biggest problem. The real biggest problem is that so many people are trapped in the current mortgage that they're holding. But they also allowed these corporations to snap up these houses at close to, very, very low interest rates, close to zero. So because of that, and because they got these places while the house values were low, now they are making their money while the banks are losing money on every single mortgage payment we make, because, the 3% that I'm paying is a steal compared to what the bank could have been charging me. But it is what it is, and this is their policy. No president was in charge of this. This was the Federal Reserve. So, what else? What does it say? Trump has recently launched several other initiatives aimed at making home buying more affordable through their potential impact, though their potential impact has been up for a debate. In a January 7 Truth Social post, Trump said he will seek to ban large investors from buying and then renting out single-family homes. Well, okay, let me stop right there, because you Trump derangement syndrome motherfuckers. I have to remind you, trying to ban corporations or big investors from buying single-family homes, you know what that is? It's a big word with a big S at the beginning of it. It's called socialism. Now, here you got Trump talking about Mamdani, talking about Biden, talking about Obama as socialist, right? But either y'all are ignoring the fact that Trump is proposing price controls on these credit cards and these corporate investors, or these large investors, because keep in mind, it's not just corporate investors, it's also regular large investors. That's called price control. You know what that's called? It's called socialism. So, and I also have to remind you, because I know a lot of you racists don't like it when you're reminded, but Trump said, these are shithole countries out here, and I wish that we could get more people from good countries. And then he goes on to name mostly white European countries like Denmark and Sweden. Hey, guess what, Trump? Hey, guess what? Let me tell you something. Those countries are socialist. There's actually a list of socialist countries, and it just so happens that those Scandinavian, those European countries, guess what, jerk off? Those are socialist countries. But the beautiful thing about racism in this country is that it allows you to be so stupid that you can actually ignore somebody who's literally doing and saying the same shit that you claim that you didn't want to see out of somebody else. But again, it's just pure stupidity at this point. It's just incredible. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. The way I see it, Trump's presidency is not going to end well. It's not going to end well. Now, this is just his first year is just over, and his second year is starting. And already we're going after fucking Greenland. And, he's about to get his ass kicked this November. I'm pretty sure the Democrats are going to probably retake the House and the Senate. And I think he's facing impeachment. And he knows it. He knows it. A lot of Republicans, they've already said we're not looking for re-election because I think they see the writing on the wall. Every single person that he endorsed during that last election lost. Every single one of them. That does not bode well for November at all. It just doesn't. So, what's next? It says he did not say exactly how his plan would work. I have a concept of a plan. That's what he said. I have a concept of a plan. Nobody would ever be allowed to get away with that shit. I have a concept of a plan. Nobody ever would be allowed to get away with that shit. He got away with it. Okay. Well, now you get to find out that he has no plan at all. So anyway, it says, but it represents a major initiative after roughly a decade of large investors and private equity firms buying up hundreds of thousands of single-family homes. Housing advocates have argued that widespread corporate ownership of homes can reduce supply and inflate prices, pushing home ownership even further out of reach. Home ownership is not their goal. Their goal is for you to be renting from them. They want you to be renting from them as if your house is a subscription. That's what they want. They have no intention of you owning anything. They have no intention of it. It's just that simple. All right, so it says housing advocates have argued that widespread corporate ownership of homes can reduce supply and inflate prices. Some analysts have noted that institutional investors own lots of property in only some areas of the country, so a ban might not be enough to substantially lower prices for most Americans. Instead, they have nodded to a lack of housing supply and pushed for local zoning and regulation to help with construction. Firms that own 100%, firms that own 100 or more single-family homes only control about 2% of the nation's single-family housing stock. And I was watching Graham Stevens' channel, and he actually broke down the numbers. Yeah, even if you own like 100 or 200 houses, that's virtually nothing compared to how many single-family homes there actually are. And the corporations combined really are not the problem. The real problem is that the house values are so high, the interest rates are so high, which, drives up the price of the mortgage. And then on top of that, the property taxes and the insurance are so high. So what could have been an affordable mortgage now becomes just completely unaffordable. What else? It says Trump also ordered a $200 billion mortgage bond buying spree, arguing it would drive mortgage rates down, monthly payments down, and make the cost of owning a home more affordable, according to a January 8th post. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will do the purchases, according to the Federal Housing Finance Authority. Mortgage rates briefly dipped below 6% for the first time in years. The mortgage refinance demand jumped 40% higher the week after the announcement. Trump has also ramped up pressure on the Federal Reserve to slash interest rates. I think that's where it ends, because for the most part, none of this is going to really happen. It says Powell on Sunday shared he is under criminal investigation over his congressional testimony last summer concerning the Fed's $2.5 billion headquarters renovation. A stunning escalation after months of Trump bashing Powell for not cutting rates fast enough. Trump has yet to announce a replacement for Powell, but the odds of Kevin Warsh clinching the nomination soared on betting markets Friday after Trump said he'd like Hassett to stay in his role at the National Economic Council. Bottom line is, it's like the mortgage rates. I'll tell you, in 2018, I got the prime rate on the house that I'm in right now, 4.75% at that time. And then during COVID, I said, you know what? Let me go refinance this place. And I refinanced down to a 3. Now, to tell you the truth, the difference between the 4.75 and the 3, at first, it really didn't seem to be a massive difference. But I will say I did get rid of the PMI that I was paying on my mortgage, because my mortgage had PMI in it. But I ended my PMI. And not only that, the most important thing, I didn't take out money. What I did was I reduced the term of my house. I reduced the term from, what was it? It was a 30-year fixed. I had been paying, for like 3 years or something, maybe even 4 years. And I reduced the term down to a 20. So I knocked off like 7 years of payments, of repayments. So, what is it? That was back in, that was like 2020, 2021. So basically, since then, I knocked down even more. I knocked off a couple more years just as time goes by. Time's just going right by. But this housing market is screwed, because the bottom line is you can build all the houses you want, but it all depends on location. A lot of people don't want to live in certain places. Like, for example, we got Alaska up there. Nobody fucking wants to live in Alaska. There's 700,000 people up there. You could build a bunch of houses up there. That would increase inventory. Nobody wants to live there. We have all of these states that have all of this dead land on them. People don't want to live in those places.
New York State has a lot of space. Nobody wants to live in New York State. People want to live in New York City. Now, there are people who live up in some parts of New York State, but nobody wants to live up there. People want to live in New York City or Albany or somewhere close to the city centers. The cities are what it's all about, really. And what people want is suburban living while they go to the city for work, because the cities have the most stable work for the most part. Now, here in New York City, we've got damn near, 9 million people almost? There's plenty of jobs here. People live in the suburbs and they commute into the city. Now, they've let shit get so out of hand with crime and mental ill crime and all this bullshit violence. They've let things get so out of hand that now people dread going into the city. And I feel bad because people got to go into the city every single day. I'm one of them. But as you know, the Desert Eagle stays cocked. I'm not playing. Any mentally ill people come up on me with some bullshit like they're trying to... What was the last thing I read? I saw there was some mental ill person or some shit, I think stab somebody or push somebody in front of a train or some shit like that. Let me tell you something. I will blow you the fuck away. And I won't think twice about it. I won't think, how on television, they make it seem like you're supposed to be, you're supposed to be remorseful and all that shit. No. No, absolutely not. No, I'm not playing that game. It's like any knife, you bring a knife to a gunfight, it's not going to end well. In fact, if you bring a gun to the gunfight, it might not end well either. But my thing is, I've had enough. I've just had fucking enough. And bottom line is, you got to protect yourself. And you have to be on point. But the bottom line is, they've allowed shit to go so crazy. You got people coming into, home invasion. I think the home invasion's kind of slowed down because I think some of these people realize that we're armed now. A lot of people during COVID went out and got guns and shit because they were afraid, that there would be some level of civil, breakdown. It's like, yeah, you try to take my car. My car is sitting right there. Like, I got one car sitting right there. I can see it out there. Got the other car over here. I got it, I can see that one okay. It's like, nobody's playing no games no more. When I hear these stories about people getting shot down for trying to break into people's houses, and I see these stories about people getting shot down trying to steal a car from you off your lot, or these people getting shot down trying to do, armed robbery. I love those stories. I love them. I try to reshare as many of them as I can. I love those stories. I absolutely love them because, I think it sends a very clear message that people have had enough. People have had enough, so it's just what it is. But as far as this housing market, they allowed these cities to become completely unaffordable. They allowed the crime and the violence to scare people out. A lot of people have gone to these other communities, these other areas, these other places, some of these places down south and everything. And the thing about it is, if you come from New York or you come from California, you're probably bringing a lot of money with you. So you have the ability to completely screw up other housing markets. And that's basically what we've done. We've gone to these other states and we've ruined their housing markets. We sent all these people from New York City down to Atlanta. Look what we did to Atlanta. We sent all these people from New York down to Florida. Look what we've done to Florida. We're sending people right now from New York over to Texas. California is sending people from California over to Texas. We've sent people to Denver, Colorado. We're ruining all of these states. See, I wonder if the average... Because you got to understand, I'm not a Democrat, and I'm not... I'm registered Republican, but I don't vote that way because, to tell you the truth, the Republican Party ain't shit. The Democrat Party sucks. The Republican Party sucks. As far as I'm concerned at this point, it's two wings on the same bird. So the bottom line is I have no loyalty to either. I really don't. And I wonder if these people who consider themselves to be diehard Republicans, I wonder if they understand the bigger picture, is that you're basically just choosing one side of the bird. And there's two wings on this bird. And the bird doesn't give a shit which side you're on, just so long as it can flap its wings. And people just don't get it. And the thing about it is, this entire country is moving more towards liberalism, regardless if you're a Democrat or Republican. It's moving more towards liberalism, mostly because women vote. And these women, as I started out by saying, these women, they don't build anything. They're in direct competition with you for housing. They're not cooperating with you to be in a house with you. They are in direct competition with you for a house. They are the loudest voices when it comes to housing and affordability. They're losing their houses faster than men are. Again, I can outwork women. If you put a shovel in my hand, I can dig a trench and I can get paid for it. They can't. If you put a jackhammer in my hand, I can jackhammer some steel structures or some shit. They can't. You could put a badge and a gun on me and I become a cop. I've seen these women who are cops and they're just laughable. I'm sorry. They're very laughable. And we've seen it. We've seen the videos. But the reality is, it's like they're in direct competition with you and they vote for more welfare. And they vote leftist policies in. What George Orwell said it best. He said it was always the women. He had a quote. It was always the women. And I don't want to blame women for what's going on, but what I will say is that they're making the situation worse. They're making it worse in just about every conceivable way. They're holding 2/3 of the student loan debt. They're the ones who are driving up credit card debt, more so than men. And I'm like, wow. And they vote, and that's what they did. They vote for socialist policies. It's incredible. They vote for more welfare. Just when you need to get rid of it the most, they vote for more of it. But that's just what it is. And I know there's some of these people, oh yeah, we should repeal the 19th Amendment. Guys, that's never going to happen. In order for you to do that, you would have to get them to vote along with you to get rid of it. These women are never going to do that. It's just incredible how crazy this shit is. Really, this whole place is crazy. It's just it's incredible how crazy this place has gotten. I never imagined it. But that's just the story. Trump is floating these stupid ideas. It's not going to happen. People have short memories. They forgot about all the other shit he proposed. So they'll definitely forget about this. Because this is one of those here today, gone tomorrow stories. It pops up. You see it, you think something's going to come of it. Nothing's going to come of it. And then you just forget it when you move on to the next thing. That's what Trump's strategy is. It's like a monkey throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. That's basically what his strategy is. And for the most part, from what I can see from these people, it's kind of working because nobody seems to remember all of the shit that he's throwing up there. It's very hard to keep track of it. I will give you that. But that's the story. So you can make a comment if you want. You can be, oh yeah, I think it's a great idea that Trump wants us to take money out of our fucking retirement savings and put that into buying some overpriced house. And I think it's a great idea. You can say that. Hey, that's fine. Or you can say, you know what, this is probably a really bad idea that's going to backfire really badly on the American people. But, hey, listen, however you think of it, it's on you. I don't think any of this is really going to happen anyway, so I guess ultimately it really doesn't matter.
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned, in part, a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people. Thank you.
We don't want to have Russia there. We don't want to have China there. And by the way, we don't want Russia or China going to Greenland, which if we don't take Greenland, you're going to have Russia or China as your next door neighbor. That's not going to happen.
Information approaching objective. 30 seconds.
Outlaw, this is Deadly. We'll take out the big targets. Mop up any troublemakers with the Mark 19.
To be continued.